How to cut your own tenderloins. Today we find out with the executive chef James at House of Dawn Steakhouse. Okay, James, last video we learned how to cut the strip loin.
Yes.
Which is what you would also recommend if we were to go to Costco and buy.
Yes.
So the tenderloin is a unique one if people ever buy whole from it.
No, it's a saying that tenderloin is a multi-purpose use cut of beef. Today, when I go through a whole tenderloin, that means you can buy from Costco from now, and now you know what can you use your whole tenderloin for different kind of dish at your home. So, talking about tenderloin, we have this piece of whole tenderloin. So in French way, we have lots of way to call it.
Right.
There's Chateaubriand from it, filet mignon from it, normal tenderloin steak. Chateaubriand is a cut of tenderloin.
Oh, okay.
It means the center part, cut. So you only get Chateaubriand, one Chateaubriand and two Chateaubriand. That's the only Chateaubriand. And the filet mignon, we call it the end part. Okay. We call it pâté fillet.
Okay.
So it means small fillet. It's always the most tender part. The tail part is always the most tender part.
So based on these, so we have filet mignon, Chateaubriand. What else do we have?
Tenderloin.
A tenderloin.
Yes.
Out of these three cuts, which one should we choose based on what we want?
If you are buying a whole tenderloin, you need to know which specific cooking method is best for which part.
Okay.
For filet mignon, I will always make a stir fry, steak tartare, Chateaubriand, always roast, okay, or make it into steak. The top tenderloin part, you can make it into skewers, like barbecue, doing some barbecue at home. And some other part, like, because tenderloin is 3 pieces of muscle, we have a giant piece of muscle over here. We call it a catfish head.
Catfish head.
Yes,
okay. Because
this part has lots of sinew in it, but if you trim it properly, it can become like a nice piece of beef you can make stir fry or make barbecue with it.
Okay, so before you start, I'm gonna guess what you're gonna do from what I learned from the last video.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I see this is the meat chain.
Yes.
Right? So I would cut from here. The thing is, I don't know when the meat chain is from here because there's so much sinew.
Wow, so that's the most fun part about cutting a tenderloin is
you gonna rip it off the sinew? Is that fun? Oh wow. Wait, the sinew covers so much. This is what under the tenderloin looks like? But this is completely different. Also, this is such a different color.
Let me cut it off for you first. We're cutting through this part. See the marbling? And with nice little piece of fat cap on it, you just simply like dice it. And when you cut into this size, get some soy sauce, some sugar, some salt, some black pepper, put some fish sauce in it, marinate for marinating for like over 2 hours. Take it out, skewer them onto your bamboo skewers or stainless steel skewers.
Okay.
Turn on your barbecue butane gas grill and grill them.
Wow.
It tastes very nice. Or you can just grab the whole piece and roast in your oven.
Okay.
Okay. So over here we have a nice lean piece of muscle.
Yes.
So I will cut this part for my steak tartare.
Okay.
So trim the excess part off.
So this is all doing what? This is all going to your tartare?
Yes.
But that meat chain earlier is... Oh, you also threw it in? This is just like...
Oh, no, that's a ground beef bucket.
Okay.
This is a tartare bucket. Okay. So for this one, I can still trim it and use this part for tartare, but it takes me so many labor hours.
It's not worth it for you.
Yes.
So one thing I'm curious about tenderloin meat compared to the strip loin, it's so lean, and also the lines is so much more obvious. Why is it like this?
Because it's the lean piece of meat, but it's the most tender part of meat. So remember the strip loin we were talking about? So we'll get a porterhouse. What's a porterhouse is one side strip loin, one side tenderloin.
Okay.
So the tenderloin is on the other side of the backbone muscle. So it doesn't do any action at all. So it's actually the most, at least, usage of the muscle of the whole cattle.
But why doesn't it store any fat if it's not used? Why does an area that doesn't get used not store fat?
Well, because you don't use it. When they feed it, it's kind of like this part doesn't absorb that much more nutrition. So it doesn't grow up that much of the marbling on it. Right. But when you get a prime one or you get an A5 Wagyu, because they fed it for a long period of time, that's why this one will pack up marbling.
Right.
It really depends on how you fed your beef. So over here, I'm going to remove I call it catfish head.
Okay. That's really obvious where this catfish head is.
Yes.
It's just protruding out here.
So over here, I have the catfish head.
What do you do with that?
I will show you later.
Okay.
So over here, that's a silverskin. Have a feel on it.
Okay.
That's a silver skin.
All right.
So what we do is grab your knife, take it in, and goes 45-degree upper, so you don't get any excess meat on it.
Okay. And it's not gonna cut. It's not gonna rip through.
No, because
Oh wow.
that's a sinew.
It's so hard.
So do you think your teeth will be sharper than my knife? So that's why we remove it.
No,
So
I mean like when you're going upwards, but you showed me how tough it is to cut through.
Yes.
I was worried that if you go up, it might just go.
oh no, it won't. So take the second part.
And this can never be ripped off, right? You
No.
have to cut it off.
No, because it's a such delicate piece of beef, very tender.
If you rip it,
If you rip it, you ruin your whole tenderloin. So now you remove all the silver skin on the top. Now we need to clean the other side.
Okay.
So over here, you can see all the fat is stored over here.
Right.
That's the thing. It's because the more attached to the bone, because the bone is actually the part that actually deliver all the nutrients.
Yeah.
So that's why this part is much more fatty. So over here, you can see there's a piece of chain over here as well.
Also where the bone is.
Yes, it's also with the bone. The bone is whole attached.
So is that like a?
So what we want is we want to take off this part, because when you cook it, you know that the fat will kind of like cook and soften and rip apart when they get cooked to a certain degree. So we don't want like when we serve the tenderloin break up. So that's why we remove the fat part.
So we don't want fat on any tenderloin cut.
Yes. So here.
So is this a rule that whenever we see chunks of fat, it's always because it was beside a bone?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or on top of it.
Okay. Near a bone.
Yes.
And you said the fat would break down the tenderloin because what? Because
after you cook it, the fat will melting.
Right.
The fat melt after temperature. So when you cook the tenderloin, after the fat melting, that means if you are getting two pieces of muscle that attach to each other because of the fat, not because of some of the tissue part, that means at the moment that when you cook it, they're gonna be two different pieces of muscle. So the inside will be overcooked.
Right.
Yes.
So would you say the safest way to use all this excess meat is just to put it all together into ground beef?
Stir fry.
Stir fry or ground beef.
You can make a stew with it.
But
it
the
still
excess
tastes
meat,
very nice.
well, do you need to dice it? Because you had a lot of fat cap in
there. But like when you grind it, you don't really need to dice it.
Okay.
Because you are grinding it.
Grinding?
Yeah.
But when you stir fry, you're also grinding it?
Well, so you need to slice it.
Okay.
Like take off the fat part, just use a nice and marble part.
Okay.
Because I'm using it for my ground beef, so it's really depends on the usage of the trim part you are using.
It feels like there's so much to learn with just a piece of meat.
Yes.
It takes forever just to learn about beef.
So over here, I'm going to trim some of this part off because they're gonna cook differently.
Right.
So now you have a nice piece of tenderloin.
Okay. So this tenderloin, the first thing I'm looking at over here is so I'm guessing like this thing we're looking at here, is this gonna be its own portion? Because it's so small.
No, it's gonna be for my stuffed meal or for steak tartare.
Also, you won't use this because
I don't
so
use
small.
that.
It'll cook differently.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So normally we'll grab this part.
Well, the staff eats good here.
Wow, yes. So I will figure out about this part. Because for my stuffed meal over here,
okay,
I'm going to cut it around 6 ounce, I think.
Right.
6 ounce.
Okay.
Over here, I'm using like this part for my Chateaubriand.
So that was the fillet, right?
Yes, that's a fillet.
We only get one fillet from a tenderloin?
No. Normally, if I cut this part into 6 ounce portions, that's my tenderloin.
Okay.
If I cut it to 10 ounce, that's my beef Wellington.
Okay.
If I cut to 14 ounce, it's my Chateaubriand. The center part, you can it can go up to Chateaubriand because Chateaubriand is the best description and the best cut of the tenderloin. Okay. How do we describe it?
Nice.
You can go down to beef Wellington if you cut smaller, because you also want the center part, nice and thick piece of meat to wrap your Wellington with. But you can also cut it to tenderloin if you need to.
It's complicated.
Yes. So over here, because I need to prep my Wellington next week. So I'm going to cut it into 10 ounce, which is,
So pretty much if anyone's ever gonna butcher their own meat, they need to know how to cook every part of the meat. Otherwise, you're wasting meat. So which one do they learn first? Do they learn how to cook the meat or do they learn how to butcher the meat?
Well, after you butcher it, you have something to cook, right?
Okay.
So learn how to butcher it first.
Okay.
Like if you don't know how to butcher it, you will always be like, oh, I'm going to buy this piece of meat or that piece of meat. Like you actually don't discover that much more of the fun part of using a beef.
But you have to make a lot of mistakes before you actually learn how to use every piece of the meat. Because when I'm butchering it, I'm gonna be like, okay, I think this is this. But when I'm cooking, I'm like, oh, this is too big. This is too small.
Yes. So that's my marbling as a tenderloin.
That's actually a lot of fat for a tenderloin.
Yes, because it's a potato fat.
Oh, potato fat?
Yes. So this beef is from PI. Normally, all the cattle's feeding processes, they feed them with grass. For example, before you get to 3 years old, which is a beef get to 3 years old, which is a year old for the beef. Before you get to 3 years old, you can only eat breast milk or some kind of milk powder or dairies. But after you reach 3 years old, they will feed you with something like congee, porridge, with something like soft noodles, with some soft bread, rice pudding, something like that. That's the moment where you start growing up. Same process for the beef. So at the moment when the beef reach to a certain point, they will start feeding the beef with grain. But in PI, because they are so proud of their potato is also a good resource of carbohydrates to grow up the beef fattier. So they start feeding their beef with potato instead of grain fat.
And it has more fat?
Yes, that's why it has more fat. Here we go. We got all our tenderloin over here. And remember, we still have the fish. I call it catfish head.
Okay.
So what we do is over here, that's a piece of silverskin we have over here. We take it off.
So why have a butcher if you can just learn how to do this at home?
Huh?
If you can just learn how to do this at home, do we still need butchers?
We still need, because not everybody
They butcher the whole cow.
Yeah. Well, that's from slaughterhouse.
Okay.
Most of the butcher doesn't they do know how to butcher the whole cow. But if they don't work in a slaughterhouse, they don't really get a chance to do it.
Butchers are more to consume direct to consumer?
Yes.
Okay, but they never sell to businesses, right?
No, slaughterhouse never sell to business directly. They will have to
Butchers sell to business? Like, would butcher ever sell to a steakhouse?
No.
Okay.
They have to sell their supplies to a supplier, suppliers.
Oh, interesting.
Because
But what about butcher shops? Like when you
they can directly sell to us.
Okay. But they
are much more expensive.
Do they only sell direct to consumers or do
No.
they also sell B2B?
The Windsor. Do you know Windsor meat?
I do. I bought it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they can sell to customer and sell to the restaurant as well.
All right.
So we got 3 nice piece of, you can call it Chateaubriand if you could cook it individually, just like this, pan-sear, finish in the oven. If you wrap it with puff pastry, mushroom duxelle, prosciutto, and crepe, it become a Wellington. Okay. And all this piece I can use for tenderloin cooking.
So that's how you cut your own tenderloin. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out this video.